I have, and apparently they don't want to explain it. What happened was these three council members waited until the end of the meeting last night when most of the people had left and the meeting wasn't being streamed live. And they made this sudden vote to fire the city manager, a guy who'd been on the job for only 6 months. He says that he had pinned Adams between his truck door like this by kicking it shut, but that Adams, even at gunpoint, was rummaging around in the truck. Custer says he felt sure he was reaching for a gun. Suddenly, Seth Adams turns, spins out. Custer says he thought he had a gun and he shot. Boom, 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 boom. Sure were, because, even though right now, walking around the mall, you can tell that everything's back to normal. You'd never know there was a shooting out in the parking lot except for the 15 bullet casings. Let's take a look at some video. I counted 7 deputies around Woods, and I've been covering court for a long time, and I've seen defendants walked in and out. And when they need protection, oftentimes, yes, deputies are around them, but this seemed like a sheer large amount of deputies, and they wouldn't let me question him. My job, as I said, was to ask the questions for the entire world in the hallway. And when I tried to question him while walking along, the deputy actually pushed me to the side and wouldn't let me walk to continue my questions. I was able to push out. He pushed me aside again. I've never seen anything like that happen. And I guess Tiger Woods had told him, because the deputy told me, that he doesn't want to talk to the media. All right. Well, all right, today in the courtroom, Dahlia DiPolito showed absolutely no emotion as her sentence was read. I imagine that her attorneys had her prepped. And this, along Southern Boulevard, is exactly where people have always lined up to see the president, because usually his motorcade comes right along here and they wave and cheer. We do have quite a few supporters of the president here in the Publix parking lot. And also, I want to show you that we've got quite a few of the field police out here ready just in case anything happens as the motorcade comes by, whether or not the president's in it or not. But you might recall about 6 months ago, some young kids were standing out here, and one of the kids, he was about 13 years old, actually threw a piece of 2x4 at one of the cars in the motorcade, and it bounced off. They actually initiated an investigation with the Homeland Security, and they found those kids and questioned them. I don't think anybody was ever arrested, but that's the kind of thing they're looking out for right here along the motorcade. So again, if you take a look along Southern Boulevard, you can see there's a lot of people very eager to wave to President Donald Trump, his wife, the rest of his family, and whoever else might be coming along with them, unless we're all looking up at the sky and there goes Marine One. But as one supporter told me, well, maybe he can see us waving from the air too. So we'll let you know. I reported exclusively last night, breaking the news, that there was a 4th victim who was able to escape from that house after being attacked by the killer, possibly stabbed before he was able to run away. Today, I spoke to that 4th victim's mother. She doesn't want to comment at all about her son's condition and how he narrowly avoided being killed. And you can't blame her. After all, 3 other people ended up dead. Right, so I got all of the crash reports and I read through all of them. And what I discovered was that there were several drivers in here who were cited for failure to yield in that intersection. And that, of course, is one of the big factors. When I got this notice that says, yes, you owe the IRS $31,000. I thought I was getting a refund. The night of the shooting, the sergeant refused to do the customary walkthrough, but 2 days later, he sat down with sheriff's investigators and gave them his version of how he says he pinned Seth Adams in the door of Adams' truck, and then when Adams whirled around, shot and killed him. Here is that exclusive video. I finally caught up with Davis in the parking lot. He didn't want to explain his motion, saying he'd come back later.
5 minutes, please.
And you can't tell me right now why you decided to fire him?
I ask you, please give me 5 minutes.
I know, but I've been leaving messages and emails for you all day.
Listen, I have a life. I have to take care of personal business. Outside of politics, please allow me to live my life. I told you I would give you 5 minutes politely.
Well, that was over an hour ago, and Councilman Davis has not returned yet, as he said he would. Hi, guys. You ever see one of those TV shows where you feel like the whole town has been deserted? That's exactly what it feels like right now here in Belle Glade. I am on Main Street, and I think we're the only people here. Hey, take a look at this. We're inside Fort Pierce's only and first pet shelter right here in Westwood High School, and they've got 23 pets. And their owners care so much about them that they brought their little babies to stay in the shelter. What's her name?
Princess.
And you wouldn't leave your dog home even though you had to seek shelter.
Put it this way, I went I'm from Miami.
Get out of town is right. This plaza has been busy like this all day, and not everybody is getting out of town. This gentleman is from Fort Lauderdale. He had to come all the way up here for what?
For gasoline, because the mayor and the governor said that Fort Lauderdale wouldn't run out of gas.
For months, there were rumors that Dalia Dippolito had a baby, but no one would confirm it, not even her lawyers. I ask. Until they finally revealed the jaw-dropping fact of this baby during the trial. But that's all we knew until I dug up these records and found out more about the secret baby on house arrest. During Dalia Dippolito's last trial, her attorney, Brian Claypool, dropped a bombshell during closing arguments.
You heard today in court, Dalia Dippolito has a little boy. And that's all we're going to comment about that.
Even the judge was surprised to learn of the secret baby born on house arrest to a mother charged with hiring a hitman to kill her husband.
Normally, there are orders in the file concerning prenatal care, postnatal care. I don't recall seeing any of that.
But in the WPBF 25 investigation, we have obtained the house arrest records for Dippolito. And according to those records and other sources, we have learned exclusive new details about where and when Dippolito gave birth. On March 17th, records showed Dippolito visited her OB/GYN physician at 1:30 in the afternoon. 9 hours later, this map, tracking her GPS ankle monitor, shows Dippolito at West Boca Medical Center. According to a source familiar with her stay in the hospital, Dippolito gave birth the next day, March 18th, to a baby boy. The map tracking her GPS monitor appears to show her leaving West Boca Medical Center March 21st. From the records, it's not clear if this was for another visit or when she was released. House arrest records also show the then 33-year-old first-time mother had only requested to see her OB/GYN doctors 5 times during her pregnancy. And a month before having the baby, she left home for some type of an emergency visit. Dippolito's attorneys have kept strict silence about who the father is and any other details about Dippolito's mystery baby.
Miss Dippolito does have a son.
And who was the father?
We're not going to get into that.
But someone that was available to her during house arrest.
We're not going to answer any questions as to...
But she was on house arrest.
She was on house arrest.
When she got pregnant.
Yes.
And that's all they'll say. Dippolito's baby is now 9 months old. Last week, she asked the judge to modify her house arrest so she could take him on outings beyond her house and back patio. The judge refused to change the house arrest parameters, but he did say if she makes specific requests, he will consider them. She is facing her 3rd trial, and it could happen as soon as... I did, Felicia. I spoke to this juror who is so irate. He says he can't help but talk about what happened, this deadlock. He says that one juror would not budge, and that juror, he says, turns out to be the longtime wife of Dirty Dancing star Patrick Swayze. Did Sergeant Michael Custer use excessive and unnecessary force when he shot Seth Adams to death? Juror Thomas Goh says as they went into the deliberation room, he told a fellow juror the verdict was obvious.
I said, this is not going to be much of a challenge. This is going to be kind of easy. He says, man, this guy's guilty of sin. He said, there's no doubt about it.
But Goh says he was stunned to find the jury deadlocked. Not just on day 1, but for 3 days, 8-1. And the one holdout? Lisa Nemi Swayze, the widow of Dirty Dancing star Patrick Swayze.
The lady just would not capitulate in any way. She was bound, determined that she was going to vote for him not being responsible.
Goh says the first few hours the jury was split over whether Custer was telling the truth about how he shot and killed Adams. But he says after the jury discussed the evidence, all but Nemi agreed Custer's story of being attacked didn't add up. No bruises, no scratches, no blood or bullet holes on the truck door where Custer claims he shot Adams.
Nothing, absolutely nothing to back up his story. So you sort of have to believe that his story isn't the story.
For 3 days, Goh says the other jurors tried to point out the inconsistencies in Custer's testimony.
She would come back with what do you think happened that night? Oh my God, here we go. Let's go back to square one. See if we can get it right this time.
Goh says Custer's testimony in particular just wasn't believable.
That bordered on buffoonery, I think. No, I wasn't buying very much of his testimony at all.
And now he regrets that after a month-long federal trial, no one was found responsible for Adam's death.
Maddening, absolutely maddening.
And other sources do confirm to me that Lisa Nimi Swayze was the lone holdout. Now, I've been calling her since I found that out last Thursday, but she hasn't returned my calls and she has taken down her Facebook page. Meantime, Go went to see the Adams family today. They do plan on retrying this case, and a hearing has been set for March 30th.